I'm going to read because of Winn-Dixie chapters 19 and 20. So, chapter 19. In the morning, me and Winn-Dixie went down to Sleep the Pet store, and I took a litmus lozenge for Otis. Is it Halloween? He asked when I handed him the candy. No, I said. Why? Well, you're giving me candy. It's just a gift, I told him, for today. Oh, said Otis. He unwrapped the litmus lozenge and put it in his mouth, and after a minute, tears started rolling down his face. Thank you, he said. Do you like it? I asked him. He nodded his head. It tastes good, but it also tastes a little bit like being in jail. Gertrude squawked. She picked up a litmus lozenge wrapper in her beak and dropped it and looked around. Gertrude! She screamed again. You can't have any, I told her. It's not for the birds. Then, real quick before I lost my nerve, I said, Otis, what were you in jail for? Are you a murderer? No, ma'am, he said. Are you a burglar? No, ma'am, Otis said again. He sucked on his candy and stared down at his pointy-toed boots. You don't have to tell me, I said. I was just wondering. I ain't a dangerous man, Otis says. If that's what you're thinking. I'm lonely, but I ain't dangerous. Okay, I said and went back into the back room to get my broom. When I came out, Otis was standing where I left him, still staring down at his feet. It was on the account of music, he said. What was? I asked. Why I went to jail. It was on the account of music. What happened? I wouldn't stop playing my guitar. Used to be I played it on the street, and sometimes people would give me money. I didn't do it for the money. I did it because the music is better if someone is listening to it. Anyway, the police came, and they told me to stop. They said I was breaking the law, and the whole time they were talking to me, I went right on playing music, and that made them mad. They tried to put handcuffs on me, he sighed. I didn't think that I wouldn't have been able to play my guitar with them things on. And then what happened? I asked. I hit them, he whispered. You hit the police? Uh-huh. One of them. I knocked him out. Then I went to jail and they locked me up. And they wouldn't let me have my guitar. And when they finally let me out, they made me promise I wouldn't never play my guitar on the street again. He looked up at me real quick, then back down to his boots. And I don't. I only play it here for the animals. Gertrude, the human Gertrude, she owns a shop, and she gave me this job when she read about me in the paper and said it's all right for me to play music for the animals. You play your music for me and Winn-Dixie and Sweetie Pie, I said. Yeah, he agreed, but you ain't on the street. Thank you for telling me about it, Otis, I said. It's all right. I don't mind, he said. Sweetie Pie came in and I gave her a litmus lozenge, and she spit it right out. She said it tasted bad. She said it tasted like not having a dog. I swept the floor real slow that day. I wanted to keep Otis company. I didn't want him to be lonely. Sometimes it seemed everybody in the world was lonely. I thought about my mama. Thinking about her was the same as a hole you keep on feeling with your tongue after a loose tooth. Time after time, my mind kept going to that empty spot, the spot where I felt like she should be. Chapter 20. When I told Gloria Dump about Otis and how he got arrested, she laughed so hard She had to grab hold of her false teeth so they wouldn't fall out of her mouth. "Why," she said, when she was finally done laughing, "that sure is some dangerous criminal." "He's a lonely man," I told her. "He just wants to play music for somebody." Gloria wiped her eyes with the hem of her dress. "I know it, sugar," she said, "but sometimes things are so sad they get to be funny." "You know what else?" I said, still thinking about sad things. "That girl I told you about, the pinch-faced one, Amanda? Well, her brother drowned last year. He was only 5 years old, the same age as Sweetie Pie Thomas." Gloria stopped smiling. She nodded her head. "I remember hearing about that," she said. "I remember hearing about a little boy drowned." Gloria stopped smiling. Whoops, sorry. "That's why Amanda is so pinch-faced," I said. "She misses her brother." "Most likely," Gloria agreed. "Do you think everybody misses somebody like I miss my mama?" "Mm-hmm," said Gloria. She closed her eyes. "I believe sometimes that the whole world has an aching heart." I couldn't stand to think about sad things that couldn't be helped anymore. So I said, "Do you want to hear some more Gone with the Wind?" "Yes, indeed," Gloria said. "I've been looking forward to it all day. Let's see what Miss Scarlet is up to now." I opened up Gone with the Wind and started to read, but the whole time I was thinking about Otis, worrying about him not being allowed to play his guitar for people. In the book, Scarlet was looking forward to going to a big barbecue where there was going to be music and food. That's how I got the idea. "That's what we need to do," I said. I slammed the book shut when Dixie's head shot up from underneath Gloria's chair. He looked around all nervous like. "Huh?" said Gloria Dump. "Have a party," I told her. "We need to have a party and invite Miss Franny Block and the preacher and Otis can bring his guitar and play for everybody. Sweetie Pie Thomas can come too. She listens to his music good." "We who?" Gloria asked. "We, me, and you. We can make some food and have a party right here in our yard. In your yard." Said Gloria Dump. "We could make peanut butter sandwiches and cut them into triangles to make them look fancy." "Lord," said Gloria Dump, "I don't know if the whole world likes peanut butter as much as you and me and this dog." "Okay then," I said. "We can make egg salad sandwiches. Adults like those." "You know how to make good egg salad sandwiches?" "No, ma'am," I said. "I don't have a mama around to teach me things like that. But I bet you know. I bet you could teach me, please." "Maybe," said Gloria Dump. But she put her hand on Winn-Dixie's head. She smiled at me. I knew she was telling me yes. "Thank you," I said. I went over and hugged her. I squeezed her hand. Winn-Dixie wagged his tail, and I tried to get between the two of us. He couldn't stand being left out of anything. "It's going to be the best party ever," I told Gloria. "You got to make me one promise, though," Gloria said. "All right," I told her. "You got to invite them Dewberry boys." "Dunlap and Stevie?" "Mm-hmm. Ain't going to be no party unless you invite them." "Have to?" "Yep," said Gloria Dump. "You promised me." "I promise," I said. I didn't like the idea, but I promised. I started inviting people right away. I asked the preacher first. "Daddy," I said. "Opal?" the preacher said back. "Daddy, me and Winn-Dixie and Gloria Dump are having a party." "Well," said the preacher, "that's nice. You have a good time." "Daddy," I said, "I'm telling you because you're invited." "Oh," said the preacher. He rubbed his nose. "I see." "Can you come?" I asked him. He sighed. "I don't see why not," he said. Miss Franny Block took right to the idea. "A party?" she said, and clapped her hands together. Yes, ma'am, I told her. It will kind of be like the barbecue at 12 Oaks and Gone with the Wind. Only it's not going to be as many people. And we're going to serve egg salad sandwiches instead of barbecue. That sounds lovely, Miss Franny said, and she pointed to the back of the library and whispered, Maybe you should invite Amanda, too. She probably won't want to come, I said. She doesn't like me very much. Ask her and see what she says, Miss Franny whispered. So I walked to the back of the library and I asked Amanda Wilkinson in my best manners voice to please come to my party. She looked around all nervous and stuff. A party? She said. Yeah, I said. I would sure like it if you could come. She stared at me with her mouth open. Okay, she said after a minute. I mean, yes, thank you. I would love to. And just like I promised Gloria, I asked the Dewberry boys. I ain't going to no party at a witch's house, Stevie said. Dunlap knocked Stevie with his elbow. We'll come, he said. We will not, said Stevie. That witch might cook us up in her big old witch's pot. I don't care if you come or not, I told them. I was just asking because I promised I would. We'll be there, said Dunlap. Then he nodded and smiled at me. Sweetie Pie was very excited when I invited her. What's the theme? She asked. Well, there isn't one, I said. You gotta think of a theme, she told me. She stuck her knuckle in her mouth and then pulled it back out. It ain't a party without a theme. Is this dog coming? She asked. She wrapped her arms around Winn-Dixie and squeezed him so hard that his eyes almost popped out of his head. Yes, I told her. Good, she said. You could make this the theme. It could be a dog party. I'll think about that, I told her. The last person I asked was Otis. I told him all about the party and that he was invited, and he said, no, thank you. Why not? I asked. I don't like parties. Please, I begged. It wouldn't be a party unless you came. I'll give you a whole free week of sweeping and arranging and dusting if you come to the party. And that's what I'll do. A whole week for free, Otis said, looking up at me. Yes, sir, I told him. But I don't have to talk to people, right? No, sir, I said. You don't. Bring your guitar. Maybe you could play us some music. Maybe, said Otis. He looked down at his boots real quick, trying to hide the smile. Thank you, I told him. Thank you for deciding to come.